Okay, it being after 6 p.m., I will call this October 13th meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. We're at the police station. Would you please all stand and join me in saluting the flag? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First order of business is approval of the minutes from September 29th meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion made second to accept the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion to approve payroll warrant number 8 for $351,523.87. School warrant number 1016 for $71,221.88. And general warrant number 1017 for $243,409.32.
So moved. Second.
Motion made and second to approve the warrants. All in favor?
Aye.
CARES Act funds. So we have WB Mason. Do we know what that is?
Yeah, PPE. Trevor and I ordered, there should be, I think, 3 invoices in there for WB Mason.
Okay, and they're all PPE
Yep.
stuff?
Sanitizer, PPE.
Now, there's one from the library. Is
Yeah.
that also? Oh, that's attached to this one. I got it. And that's it, just the 3?
Yep.
They're all PPE?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
So moved. Second.
Motion made second on that. All in favor?
Aye.
These are going to be, I get copies for this?
Yeah.
In that.
Yep.
Fire department transfer? Is that something we have
It's
to?
in there. He requested to transfer $3,300 from fire equipment to turnout gear because when he was given he sent the wrong budget when we did budget. And he just level funded, but it wasn't, he's leasing turnout gear and that wasn't accounted for. So he just wants to transfer and he said that that'll cover him and he'll be fine.
I thought there was a line item for leasing turnout gear.
There is, but it was not funded properly because he was given the wrong budget apparently. There had been a transfer made and then it was never corrected on the balance.
So what's he transferring it
He's
from?
from fire equipment to turnout gear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's not something we have to sign, right? That's
You don't have to sign it, I just need to note that you voted and approved it.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion made second, all in favor?
Aye.
Is that all?
Yep.
Okay. Old business is update from Downtown Development Committee. You here on that?
I am, I'm ready.
All right.
Am I sitting or standing, what do you need?
Yes, stand behind the.
Do I need to do that?
No.
So, couple updates. We have the Friday night movies that are happening right now. We got a grant from the Commonwealth Places for, I think it's just about $9,000. It allowed for 3 drive-in type of movies to be able to be done in town, and we're having them right over here next to the police station. It's actually been a really pretty cool event. The first night I think we had about 11 cars. The second night we had, I want to say about 15 or 17. And this week is Princess Bride, so we're hoping we sell out. But it's free, so what do you sell?
Yeah.
But we should have enough in the grant to be able to do at least 1 or 2 more in the spring too, so we're kind of excited about that.
Oh, nice.
So the funds had to go through the Friends of the Townhouse because it had to go through a nonprofit organization. And I guess we're waiting for the check to come through to pay the people that we actually hired to do the movies.
Okay.
So we're waiting for that to come in. but it seems to be a good success, and we just wanted to get word out too that, you know, we're here and we're trying to do stuff. I'm gonna leave Complete Streets for last, cause that's the big piece that's happening. I did go to a couple planning board meetings, and Bill King from the planning board said he'd like to have one of his members attending our meetings, cause we have a lot of stuff that kind of coincides with each other, so I'm hoping that that happens. We put through a vote to hire Stocks Creative to make a map of all the trail systems that we have in town. That's one of our pieces on our strategic plan to complete, is to create a map to connect up them all, and we're hoping to put the map up at the park that John's working on, so people can like come to the park and know where all the trails come off of that. Between the rail trail, Wendermouth, the one up behind the Catholic school, the Catholic part, yeah, rectory, there's a path up there that goes to, so we connected
Up to the
them all.
cemetery.
Yeah, we've connected like 5 trails, and we're trying to create a map. We just need to find a grant to pay her, so we're working on that.
So you hired her without being able to pay her?
We hired her before we have any money to pay her yet, so.
Okay.
But she hasn't done anything yet. We just know that, you know, we put that through, that we just need to find the funds, and she needs to let us know how much that is, so.
Do you know how much she would charge?
I don't know yet. We don't know yet. We haven't figured out all that. I'm just giving you a heads up that we want to create a map of all the trails.
Oh,
so.
okay. So that's the plan, you just
That's
need to...
the plan,
All right.
yep. We've been working on some business bites on the Downtown Development Facebook page. I don't know if you've seen those. Tomorrow night is Country Auto. So it's not just downtown, we're doing all of them. We have over 100 businesses here in town, and one of our other strategic plans is to create a business association in town. So our thought was, if we started talking to the businesses and giving them some, you know, a place to be able to put some content on our Facebook page, as well as give them a little bit of airtime, that they, you know, it would be easier to bring them all together to be able to create this association. With that being said, Tara Hayes came up to me and said that she needed some help with creating, she's been charged with creating some kind of a business association, or a business, like a business, let me think of how to word this, like a training session for businesses in town. So she thought connecting up with me would be good, and I said, well, we're working on that too, because once we get a couple more business bites in, we wanted to be able to work with a association like the Quabog Valley QBCDC to be able to give some content to the businesses, to be able to like have classes for them so that they'd get excited. So hopefully I can create that association and then let them run with that. That way that would be like a check mark off of our strategic plan. So Tara was working with me on that. I haven't heard much more. She just said she was going to contact some people that she had been in connection with. And then Eva Brown put me in connection with a woman named Danny Whitmore, I think is her last name. And she wants to talk about some business stuff too. So we're working on like a business association, creating some content for our businesses in our downtown area and throughout the town. So our big project is the Complete Streets. We've gotten through tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. It's taken us almost 2.5 years to get through all these tiers. We have a project list that's on the downtown development page on the North Brookfield website, and that has 27 different projects on there that have been prioritized, 1 through 27. So we had a meeting between myself, Jason from Highway, Kim was there, Ian and Gemma from CMRPC was on the Zoom call, and we started to talk about which projects we wanted to put in for next year. Jason, and this is like a very preliminary meeting, so Jason said that they've already got some big projects slated for springtime of 2021. So we need to have our application in by May in order to be funded with Complete Streets projects that we want for August, so that they could do fall projects. So what we plan to put in for is the Adams block. I actually have them. It's projects 1, 2, 3, and 6. So it's the Adams block, it's this downtown area over here, and then we're connecting it right down this street to to the, rail trail head here, because this connects us to, as an EJ area, environmental justice area, which I guess would allow us to be able to get the funds. It's more competitive to put it in as that, type of project. So, it comes to just over 400,000, so we're hoping we can pull some of those projects down a little bit. With that being said, every year we can put in projects that are on that list up to $400,000 and get awarded up to $400,000 worth of projects to be paid for. But the catch is that for especially this area here, we need it to be engineered. And the engineering costs usually about 10% of the project, so it would be about $40,000 to get it engineered, but we get $400,000 worth of funding for the project if we put in the engineering from the town. So that'd be something we'd have to come to the Board of Selectmen for and talk to you guys about. With that being said, Jason was supposed to do a little bit of research, I talked to him about 2 weeks ago, to come to you to ask for funds, for preliminary funds, to find out how much it would cost. I guess it's like a cost analysis to find out how much it would cost to get the engineers to bid on it, and how much he thinks the bidding would be. So he's supposed to come to you guys with that. So that's where that is.
Okay.
So we have 27 projects on there. If we do all 27 projects and we get awarded them all, it's about $3.5 million worth of projects that we get awarded in grant funds, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah. So I remember seeing the projects,
Yep.
right? We voted on that and approved all that
Yep,
a while ago.
yep.
What is within the project, this EJ thing,
Yep.
what specifically is planned for happening?
So so what we have on the project list is mostly the sidewalk area. Jason's concern is that I guess there's already a water project, I think that he said, that's going in. He just is trying to coordinate things and make sure we already have like a master plan for what we want this to all look like, so that as we do it and it's been already pre-engineered, that we know exactly what we're doing and how it's gonna happen. So mostly it's for sidewalks, but when it comes to sidewalks, obviously the street ends up being involved at one point, I guess, because I don't know, you'd really have to talk to Jason more about that, because I'm kind of confused as to why we can't just do the sidewalks, but I think it's a good idea to have a master plan of everything, rather than just saying, hey, let's just fix this one sidewalk, when really, you know, in a half a year, he knows that the water department's coming through to tear that up for something. Because he did say that there are some projects that are happening, that he specifically said water department was coming down the main street with something. It was kind of unclear, so he could definitely test for that.
So it's not fixing a sidewalk, it's installing one, right?
It's updating all the sidewalks and the crosswalks so that they're ADA compliant, and that they are, what did we just deem the town, help me out, like elderly friendly or something like that?
Oh, okay, yep.
With the senior center.
Mm-hmm.
I know they did that with AARP or something like that.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
So at any rate, the projects are listed right on the site. I can pull them up.
Do they have drawings and stuff?
There's no drawings yet. It lists verbally exactly where they are and how much they would cost.
Right.
Initially.
Yeah, I remember
and,
seeing that.
Which projects they are. So, project number 1 is, I mean, I can read it off to you quickly if I can get this to work. The downtown revitalization phase 1 is pedestrian safety at the North Main Street intersection and the library. Project number 2 is the restoration of raised sidewalks and railings on North Main Street. Project number 3 is to address the sidewalk gaps on North Main Street, and then we wanted to connect those 3 with project number 6 so that it would be more viable to get the funds, which is accessibility and bike corridor from downtown School Street to the rail trail head.
Okay.
So this whole area. So Jason wanted to put in, again, to have it, the whole thing, mostly in the center of town, more than down the street here, but the very center where the townhouse is, the Adams Block, the church, and the park area, that whole area to be to be engineered. So that way we have a master plan of what this is gonna look like, and as we do each project and ask for funding, we have also an engineering piece to put in with it to say, hey, we've engineered this, we know what we need, we just need the funds to be able to get it done, so. We're
Yep.
working pretty hard
That's good.
on the background.
Now, has the Downtown Development Committee considered a one-way traffic pattern on Main Street?
Just to only go one way?
Yeah.
We have not.
So
That's interesting.
years ago, probably early 2000s,
Yeah,
I actually had it somewhere. I was looking for it today. I couldn't find it. There's a whole folder that a committee went through, and it got shot down at a town meeting in the early 2000s. But they talked about going one way south on Main Street.
From the tip of Grove Street, where Grove
Yeah.
Street splits off,
Yeah.
it'll be one way from that point south on Main Street
Then,
to the intersection in the center,
yep.
right?
and then people.
Some kind of an island so
that
that
way.
people are going left, stay to the left side, the people going straight, stay to the right side.
Mhm.
And then they'll come up School Street,
go
and then
back.
Grove will be one way heading up to the end of Grove Street with the access roads lining. So if you need to get to the storefronts and you're coming up Main,
gotta go
you
around.
just take a quick diversion up Grove
That's
and then
interesting.
down Central.
And it would put
We
the,
wouldn't be opposed to anything that's on the chopping block.
Because that
really.
brings the town common back into like
The
the
loop,
traffic pattern. People
Yeah.
are gonna go by it
Right.
that's a really great idea.
and
I
that
love
opens up Main Street for more parking
Mhm.
or different configurations for parking.
Yep,
And then if businesses go in there, like hopefully they will and be safer.
Safer, well,
because
one
then
way.
you could have a double lane of traffic and you wouldn't have to worry about people making that left turn into the
Would-
diagonal parking and backing out the wrong way.
is that common area, that common area is part of the, no, it's not part of the downtown overlay district though. We would wanna incorporate that and rezone it as that, I would think, that way, cause it would all be the district overlay at that point. Because if you're gonna be sending people as if it's a downtown street, we would
Yeah.
wanna rezone that piece.
And I don't think it would affect the police or fire department as far as getting places either, because they're already right here.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna time it and then I forgot. But I think it's only a matter of
The
seconds.
one piece that we did, that we considered that was, that the CMRP had come up with, just a preliminary drawing, there was nothing, engineered about it at all, was to put a very small traffic circle at the center, just as a traffic calming device to slow people down so that they would move around, and slow down, because they do go so fast through there, and, either way, I think that's a great piece to put in there. We would definitely consider that, I
Yeah.
think.
Could do maybe just a, it's something that people would have to go around, like a rotary type circle for traffic, but you could put just something in the center.
There's actually, there's a grant that we can get too, actually, and I hadn't applied for it yet, because I wasn't sure how we were gonna use it. But there is a grant that you can apply for that, pays the highway department to put up temporary pylons and stuff to create those spaces to see how people would react to them. So it's not a forever thing, it would just be like, here, let's put up some pylons to create that like traffic circle, or to create the one-way piece, just to test it, to see how it works. So it's not something that you have to say is permanent, you just try it out to see how the town likes it. So that's an option too, if that's something you guys are interested in pursuing, we
You're
can do
gonna be
that.
sending all the trailer trucks and everything up here too. Trailer trucks, dump
Mhm.
trucks, everything up.
It's all one way though. It'll be one way, plenty wide enough, but,
We have, I know we also have I talked to Danny too, because we have the common, on our project list as well for complete streets. So I told Danny, I'm like, we're almost done with the master plan. He needs the master plan completed in order to apply for the grant to redo the common. And I said, well, if you plan on that for 2022, we can plan on, taking the complete streets project and putting that towards you so that you get as much push towards you as you can, and we can really like concentrate on that. We just thought this would be a great first project for us to get into, because he's still gonna wait for the master plan to apply for all his stuff anyway.
Mhm.
So, but I'm trying to keep him in the loop to encourage him as well, but I think incorporating that to be the possibility of a one-way down there brings him right into the loop of everything too, which would be really great, so I like
Yeah.
that idea.
All right, good.
Yep. We can definitely throw that out there. I think that the next place is gonna be Jason, and Kim is supposed to come to you guys to ask for engineering funds,
Okay.
or preliminary engineering funds, or something to that effect, so, just so that you know we would really appreciate it if that does get approved, if we have that in the budget to be able to do that, because as soon as that goes through, we get to start applying for a lot more money to come in to fix up the streets, that would
And
be
when's the
really
grant
great.
start again?
What's
The grant
that?
has to be in by when?
We have to have this done before May. Our application needs to be in before May to get the project approved for, the funding approved for August.
Okay.
So that means the engineering and everything would have to be done before May, so that we can put that in with our application. And it would be, again, really great to have that all redone, so that way we have that master plan, so that if we do, the sidewalks on one side of the street, we have the plan to know what the sidewalks are gonna look like in another year and a half on the other side of the street, so that, we can apply for those projects as they come through,
Okay,
so.
perfect.
I think that's all I have on my list.
All right. Well, we appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys asking me to come in.
Yeah. Well, that's, the Downtown Development Committee was created by us to advise us.
Yep.
So,
You let me
The
know.
flow.
I know COVID's hit, and I haven't been in a couple months because it's been a little crazy, and we didn't have meetings for a while too, but
yeah,
we're definitely, like, the last 2.5 months been back in the thick of it, so, if you need me to come in monthly, I can do that. Or
um,
however often you guys think you need me to stop in.
yeah. Well, I'm thinking maybe we do one of those quarterly, get everybody together
That would
once.
be awesome.
Once we
I
can
had
get everybody,
on my case wanting to get together, so
Yeah.
that would be really good,
we'll plan that for
like November.
as soon as we can
Okay.
safely get a group of people in our room,
Okay.
bigger group.
That'd be great.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Date for a special town meeting. We already set that?
Yeah, but you have to vote on it.
Oh, we haven't voted on it.
No.
All right. So the date for a special town meeting is November 6th.
Yep.
11/6. That's is that Friday?
Yes.
It's Friday.
Yep.
It's a Friday night. 11/6 at the school for appropriating free cash. So we need to have town meeting for appropriating the free cash, which amounts to 403. Yeah, 403. So, and we're just shy of the state's best practices for stabilization money. They say towns should have $1 million in stabilization, and we're at 900 and some change. So with that, we hope to get to the million in stabilization. And we're okay financially, and the state says they're okay financially for this fiscal year. It's next fiscal year that they're worried about not having the money because of the COVID. So, but then again, our town distribution from the state is about 90,000 in the assistance. So we have plenty to absorb for the short term, but you just never know what's going to happen. So, so that's 11/6. So I'll entertain a motion to set that date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor on that?
Aye.
Aye. And deadline for article submission is
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay. So you got time, but not a lot. Appoint CMRCP delegate. Do we have to do that? Didn't we do that?
I think you do it every year.
You have to do it every year,
Oh.
and they are changing. Michelle would like to be a delegate apparently. So Sue Lyons is the delegate for the planning board, and Michelle Petritis will be the Board of Selectmen alternate. If you guys agree with that, I'll appoint them and I can send out the forms.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Did
You
she
ready?
say for the Board of Selectmen or for the planning board?
She's probably the alternate for the planning board.
Yeah. That's for the
Well,
planning board.
Bill used to be the alternate for the Board of Selectmen. It doesn't have to be a Board of Selectmen member, just be someone that you select to be an alternate. And Bill used to be the alternate. He said to reappoint Sue Lyons as the delegate for the planning board, and then Michelle Petritis is taking his place.
Well, unless one of you two want to be the
Nope, I'm
alternate.
good with
Well,
I get-
if John did it, and he could do it for the planning board and the board of selectmen, then we wouldn't have to worry about it.
John's into too many things as it is,
Yeah. He's up thin ice.
pretty much.
I don't have a problem with that, but I think that that's probably an error on Bill's part.
Okay, well, I can put it off. It doesn't need to be due right now. I can check if you want.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, 'cause we talked about that at the planning board meeting, and I think she meant to be Sue's alternate,
Oh,
in case Sue
She's
can't make
supposed
it.
to be the alternate for the planning board.
Yes,
oh, okay.
yeah.
She just
She
told me.
just texted
Yeah.
you. Okay, well, I'll find out who he wanted for the alternate.
Do we need,
So
Well,
Sue's
we
coming off.
picked the.
do we need an alternate?
Well,
But we
we're
don't-
we're supposed to have a member
Somebody?
that can go,
No.
and I've done it in the past.
Oh, good.
So
I'll do
Jason-
that.
You
Yep.
volunteering it?
A night out, I guess. Go to one
All
of those
right.
riveting CMRPC meetings.
You'll have a date anyway, you can take Michelle.
Yeah.
There you go. Approve Medicare contract for Insurance Advisory Committee?
Yeah, it should be in there. And they had an insurance advisory meeting last week. I think it went up 1.94%.
Oh, yeah, so they're just looking for our approval to renew.
Yep.
And that advisory committee already studied it.
Yes.
So I'll entertain a motion to adopt their findings and approve their report.
So moved.
Second,
Motion made second, all in favor on that? And let's see, a discussion of unfunded mandates?
Yeah. You want to let Joe go first?
Why, is that gonna be a big discussion?
I don't know.
Longer than Joe? Joe, Joe can, he told me he was going to be.
Yeah.
at least you're not picking on me this time. I'm just gonna step out for a second.
Yep, all
You
right.
want to let him go first?
Yeah, that's fine, let him go first. You're up.
Oh, great.
We have some presentations for some outstanding work done by some fire and police personnel.
Everybody come in.
Do you want that report?
No.
Okay.
I don't usually talk
We'll
much.
take a few pictures.
Yeah.
Just come right around, guys. We got a few people to squeeze in.
Can you hand me that folder? Can you hand me that folder that has the sticky on top? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, folks, for coming to the Selectmen's meeting, and thank you for letting us come and do these presentations. I'll try to keep it brief. We had a relatively busy year last year with some pretty serious calls, like some other communities have. So every once in a while, we try to give a little something back, just in appreciation for all the hard work between the people involved with the incidents. So the three incidents that we're gonna just focus on this year is an ice rescue that took place, a pretty serious industrial accident that took place, and then a near drowning of a young boy down the lake. So with that said, we do a lot of mutual aid in the area. Spencer, Fire Chief Parsons here tonight. His crew is involved with one of the rescues. The East Brookfield Chief is here. We're represented by Brookfield. Dave Messier is here, right? Dave's here. Hey, Dave. So, just to get it kicked off to start, North Brookfield, obviously, the police department, the Anybody here, Dave, you're here, take this. The police department, the fire department, obviously, and the EMS responded to all three incidents that were in our town. So just to recognize that right off the front, what we listed these certificates of life-saving team performances. So none of these rescues take place with 1 or 2 people. It takes a lot of people to make it happen. A lot of resources involved. The chairman was a state trooper himself. He knows what it takes. Sometimes it could be 10, 12 people just to get things moving and get it. So it's hard to recognize every individual. So what we did on these certificates tonight was we recognized the community for team performance, for the fire departments that were involved and the EMS agencies. And then we did life-saving skills or team skills for the people that were literally hands-on with the people that were injured or in trouble. So the first one we have is for North Brookfield Police Department. Dave, would you come up and it's in recognition of the October 14th, 2019 industrial accident, February 23rd, 2020 ice rescue, and July 26th, 2020 the near drowning. So Dave, would you accept this for the police department, please, and get it to your boss?
I will.
I appreciate it. We won't shake hands tonight. The same rescues that took place for the North Brookfield Fire Department, I'll give it to my deputy. So, North Brookfield Fire. And North Brookfield EMS responded to all incidents. The director, Pat Kersey. So the first incident that we'll go through was February 23rd, 2020 of an ice rescue. A couple gentlemen got themselves in trouble on Brooks Pond. I've been involved with a lot of ice rescues, Bobby has too, over the years, and they're pretty scary. When people are out there and things all of a sudden go haywire, temperatures change, fog comes in, and the whole situation of having a good time changes dramatically. If you plunge into these cold waters, you're in trouble. So anyway, that happened that day in February to a couple of gentlemen. One gentleman got himself off, correct? And the other gentleman got himself stuck out on ice that literally was like a wave when we started working out there. So it wouldn't take much to put him in. Spencer Fire got towed to Brooks Pond on the initial 911. They responded with their equipment and ice rescue equipment and deployed an ice rescue sled. North Brookfield Fire was deployed, toned out the hovercraft, and some of the divers started out. Bob Parsons also notified the District 7 dive team. So there's a lot of mechanisms taken off and taken place with something like this. Just to get our hovercraft on the road and his equipment on the road, you're talking about trailers, trucks, equipment, all kinds of things. So once that mechanism starts, it really comes together nicely. They deployed their rescue sled, got out there, made a grab. The hovercraft was deployed to assist to get the individual to shore, and it turned out to be a very happy ending for everybody. But it was pretty scary, especially for the gentleman involved. So on behalf of the Spencer Fire Department, again, we thank for your mutual aid, Bob. And if you would accept this certificate, please, team performance, life-saving team performance. Spencer EMS here tonight? Anybody from Spencer EMS show up? Bob, would you grab it for them, please? This is the same thing, life-saving team performance for Spencer EMS. They're on scene. Thank you. The District 7 dive team plays an important role in the area. And before I hand this certificate, Bob is actually the vice chair of District 7. And Bob, would you mind just a couple minutes talking about District 7, what we do, what you guys have developed over the years for resources and things?
Sure. So the District 7 is Southern Worcester County, basically, 26 cities in town, including the city of Worcester. We have numerous teams amongst District 7, which are made up of individuals from all those towns. The District 7 dive team, tech rescue, fire investigation, all that is being supported by Homeland Security, and they buy all the equipment, and they have spent a lot of money in training. We notify them immediately, because it could be from 20 minutes away, someone close by getting there. We have, divers from Charlton, Sturbridge, Oxford, that could respond very quickly. But for the whole team to assemble could be up to 45 minutes to an hour. So in an incident like this, we want to notify them immediately. As we're responding out, I know that day we were responding out, we're automatically calling North Brookfield. The ponds happen, well, most of it probably in North Brookfield than it is in Spencer. Even though we got the call, we gotta notify our mutual aid partners, because they have equipment that we don't have and vice versa. It's just the way it is. No one can have every piece of equipment, and we need people. These are very labor-intensive efforts that we do when we go out to rescue somebody. So we automatically start the District 7 dive team because we know it's gonna take a little while for them to get there. But they have very specialized training to go under the ice, where a lot of recreational divers cannot do that, and they have that expertise to do so. So we wanna notify them immediately, get them on the road, get the equipment. As Chief Holloway just stated, there's a lot of trailers that gotta be getting hooked up. The guys may not be on shift, they're calling guys in to cover shifts, and whatnot to get the equipment going. This is a case when they arrived on scene, we're pulling the other gentleman off the ice, no need for divers. But in case the person had gone under, that's when we would have to deploy the divers, and then it becomes a very, very labor-intensive effort. And we may have other divers from other districts coming in as well to assist ours as well.
Thank you, Bob. And just on that note of the District 7, Bobby and Pete Martell and a lot of chiefs from the area have developed an enormous amount of resources for the district. That, matter of fact, as simple as our radios. When our radios got fried a few weeks ago, we had 8 radios get damaged by a surge of some type in the station. District 7 came in with radios for us. I mean, they're $1,200 a piece, and they brought them in and let us use them. So they have strike teams set up, task force. So if we have big brush fires, we can call for strike team. So there's a lot going on with that. If you ever have a chance to go to the website, you can look it up. But I'm extremely proud to be, I certainly didn't help develop it the way those guys did by any means, but they put a lot of work into it, and it's a really, really, really good setup. So if you ever have a chance to check it out, check it out. So Bob, on behalf of the District 7, please, would you take this?
Okay, more for
Operating the hovercraft is quite a skill. It looks like a lot of fun, but it's actually extremely dangerous for the victims and the people going out if they don't know how to handle it well. You can literally cut somebody's head off on really solid ice with that machine if you don't know how to approach people and do things. So with that said, I got certificates for 2 operators for the life-saving skills, and the first one would be on board that day to help with that rescue was Patrick Christie. The operator of the machine that day, he's very experienced in operating the hovercraft, been around for a long time with us. And again, we've saved a lot of people with the hovercraft over the years. It's something people might say, oh, how are you often going to use it? But boy, when you need it, you need it. There's no easy way to get people off bad ice. So with that said, the operator that day was George Nolet. He's lieutenant with the fire department. Okay, that's on the ice rescue. So the next one was a horrible accident that took place in town, an industrial accident. Without any detail, it was a horrible accident, and the gentleman is doing very well today. But as a result, I would just like to acknowledge that. The first certificate would be for a life-saving team performance, would go to the town of Brookfield. Mark? Anybody working out of UMass right now? I also have, Sean, do you want to take this one for us? I don't think they're here tonight. We were hoping to fly them in, but they didn't. Another very important piece of equipment that came with personnel that know their stuff was UMass Life Flight came in that night. So I have a team performance for UMass Life Flight. If you would come up and grab this, Sean. I know you're in touch with them. We did get calls into them, so they'll be expecting it. Thank you. I did have another certificate for the North Brookfield Police Department for team performance on that particular day. The police played a huge role in that rescue of this gentleman. So Dave, would you take this for the department, please? Okay, and then the individuals that actually worked directly with the individual. First one would be our paramedic, Sean Adams. The next individual that worked tirelessly on this person that was in trouble was former Fire Chief Brad Gannon. Pat, would you take Brad? He couldn't make it tonight. Another police officer, and also works with our rescue squad, Michael Splain. Another EMT came in with Brookfield to assist on this rescue, Mark Lovely. And he can take, Pete Martell is out of town tonight, the chief from Brookfield. He's a paramedic. And just by the way, I don't mind blowing a little smoke on these guys, but Donald LaFleur, Pete Martell, there's a few list of them, you know, Josh from East Brookfield. These guys make such a difference in this area as paramedics and have for many years. They could have a pile of these like this. So with that said, I did talk to Pete today. Tell Pete we thank it all very much. And an individual police department member who played a very important role, Sergeant David Turkey. I hope I didn't miss anybody, and if I did, we can type up some more. Okay, last but not least, this is in regards to 7/26/2020, the near drowning down the lake. It goes to show you how quickly your lives can change, and it happened for a family that doesn't live in town here. But thank God for a lot of people, it had a very happy ending. Most dive team calls that I was on in my career, and as Bobby will attest to, don't usually have happy endings. So this particular day was a very happy ending for a very young child down at our beach. So with that said, first the certificate would go to Life Saving Team Performance, East Brookfield Fire. And we're going to go right into the skills. This, I'm going to save that one. I'm going to save this one. Oh man, this is a good one too, I should save this one. Well, when things happen, they happen for reasons. It was a busy day, it was obviously a warm day and a beautiful day when this took place. There happened to be people out boating, and what are the chances of having somebody out there boating that's a nurse? And overhears the commotion on the sidelines over by the town beach, and is aware enough to decide, get me there, ASAP. With that said, a young lady that is a nurse, lives here in North Brookfield, I'm really proud to handle this, came in to help with CPR and maintaining this individual's life. Jessica Roy. EMS was there, of course. Our director and Lieutenant Patrick Christie. Police officer and EMS, Michael Splain. Thank you, Mike. Another EMS member and paramedic, does a wonderful job for us all out here, Ashley Marks. Fire Chief David Messier. Assistant Fire Chief James Bain. Deputy Chief, sorry. And Connor, I might say your last name.
Bosick.
Bosick. Thank you, Connor. Okay, so it wouldn't have happened without this young man stepping up to the plate, overhearing the commotion. He was on the beach himself, probably having a couple beers, you know, with the chicks. But anyway, he's out there. He hears somebody in trouble. They're looking for this young boy missing. And he was smart enough to go out on the dock and be done if you don't look down and he can see something bright, about 6-7 feet of water. And he jumped in and made this rescue happen. Zachary Ford. Last but not least, and this gentleman couldn't get out tonight, we'll have to get a hold of him. He helped with CPR with the whole incident, Tyrell Stevenson from Worcester. So all those people that just got all those were just on this one incident. And those were people that had literally hands-on that one individual. That's how much resources get tied up and how quickly you need resources. So with that said, guys, I thank you for your time here tonight. But we appreciate it, and everybody, thank you ever so much.
Thank you, Chief.
Right? No problem.
Yeah, thanks. We really like having these because then we can recognize the people that make a difference, and we don't get to see that a lot, and I don't think that you get the recognition that you deserve enough. So thank you all very much. We really do appreciate it as a town.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right.
I'll see you later. That was a good meeting.
Yeah.
You've done a good job.
Yeah, I helped get off, but, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
Joey comes in when they happen, you know? You don't want to wait the whole year. Pretty much.
All right,
No,
thanks.
it's just,
Trevor, did you want to address us on something? I didn't.
We've got the flu clinic. This Thursday, 9 to 11, the flu clinic. People just need to bring their short sleeves, ID, and their insurance, but nobody's going to be turned away. You have to be over the age of 5. So we're trying to get the word out. Short notice. I don't know if it will be the last one that we do. We may do another one in between. We're also at the same time running an emergency dispensing site drill, which it won't take place at the senior center. The flu clinic will take place at the senior center Thursday, 9 to 11. Wear short sleeve shirts.
Okay.
the emergency dispensing site for a possible vaccine for COVID. Right now, I'm favoring a drive-through situation up at the school. So people would pre-register. Those who don't pre-register would be put on one path. Those who do, put on another. And confirmed, jab, wait, and then let it go. So it'll be much quicker to do that.
That's on the vaccine if and when it comes out.
Yeah, well, we gotta be prepared, yeah.
Yeah. Do we
That's
need?
probably how it will go.
Do we need anything for that? Because the COVID money, I gotta put it in by the 30th,
I know.
and there's.
That's what we've talked about.
All right, you're gonna get me something on.
I'll give you some other stuff, but I honestly, I think we're in really good shape.
Yeah.
Once this next round of PPE, actually, did the other stuff come in? Probably not.
I haven't seen it, no.
Okay, so we're just waiting on some stuff from WB Mason. I'm gonna put in for some more money for cots, like we discussed, but not.
Yeah, I talked to
Great.
Chris about that for Nabima, right? So that's.
Yeah,
That's what you're talking.
I sent him a link today for a possible buy. Like I was like, what do you think of these?
Yeah.
Because they range, the price on a cot, like a camp cot, it can get really expensive. Believe it or not.
But we got 200,000. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I know. Well,
It's
I'm
available.
not. Yeah.
Let's
No,
get what we
I think
need. and-
I want volume on those.
Yep.
He said he
Because
needed
we'll
at
only
least 50.
Yeah.
He mentioned at least 50.
Yeah, so we've got, right now we've got enough for like 22. I think we put in for was it 2,000 on that? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
it was just token money in the first one, but the second one, I can, put in a
Yeah,
request and make it.
I'll up that. There's another portion that I want to up a little bit too. And then, but, and I've had that conversation with Mr. Lind about the HVAC system stuff,
Okay.
because I think it makes sense.
Yep.
We're even gonna entertain that there could be a problem with the blower motors. Maybe we,
Yeah, and it's, I looked over Schedule A and it specifically says
Oh, yeah.
upgrading HVAC.
Oh, yeah,
So, I
for
mean,
sure.
it's specific, it's not even a
There's
question of whether it's.
Construction's covered. for
Yeah,
some of it. So,
right.
So the only thing that Board of Health will put in for, I think, is some more PPE, and then we'll make an adjustment on the numbers for the cots. That's it. So the rest of the money, I know the library might have some requests, but we can all take from that PPE as well. So
Yeah, I've advised them, because the police chief wasn't aware of that, and he spent some money out of his own budget for PPE, so.
Which you can get reimbursed.
Yeah, we'll put it back in
Right.
and up it.
Library's putting in for some too.
I saw
They've
something
already
from the
spent.
library, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you get something to the senior center?
What do they need?
I talked to Judy Manning the other day. I was
Yeah.
over there fixing a light,
Yeah,
and nobody's running that right now because Diane
Right.
is sick.
right,
So, and she mentioned that she could use a couple of boxes of masks
done.
and some sanitizer.
Yeah.
If you
Sanitizer.
can't get in there, let me know. I'll get a key, but they need it.
We'll be there Thursday, so I'll drop
Okay.
off. drop off
I told her I
those.
would try to get her.
I dropped off like half the order that we got went to the school.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, let's give it to the school. They're gonna need it.
Yeah, well, she doesn't have anything over there.
Well, that's fine.
I know they're not using it fully, but with the ones that go in there, they do have a bread day, food pantry day over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd rather put in for the limit, 403,
Yep.
400 or whatever. If we don't use it, great, but.
What's the remaining on signage? See, can you just send me the list of like what we've what we spent on it? Is there a breakdown for that?
Well, yeah, I just did I had to report to the state.
Yeah.
So I can send, no, I don't know if I can.
I just don't want to go over on anything that I've got, like the Halloween thing. Right now I'm looking at, like the kids we have covered, because we just cover them through the school. But it's the households that really, the rules have changed this year for the households, so we kind of want to let the households know, hey, this is a best practice to do.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about going over, because we'll get it in the next round, and there's a ton of money out there, so I wouldn't worry about going over
Right.
at this point.
Okay.
So get what
So,
you need.
so I mean, I'm getting a quote on doing a, what's it called, an EDDM mailer. It's a cheap postage rate and just to get it out to the local households to kind of give people a heads up. So once again, flu clinic, 9 to 11 Thursday at the senior center. Bring your proof of insurance, your ID, and short sleeves, and we'll get you all set up.
Great.
The next thing is trick or treat. So trick or treat, I've been working with Chief Holloway, Chief Smith. It looks like 5 to 7 is going to be the time, right? You guys have to vote on that, I assume. I don't know.
No, we usually let the police chief set the hours.
Yeah, so we
if he
worked
sets them.
together, so we think that 5 to 7 is the way to go. It's gonna be town-wide, so we're asking people to, you know, stay within their neighborhood or thereabouts, you know, don't like run all over town.
Everybody lives right over here.
Yeah.
Forest and Grove.
Well, be
Right.
smart about it, I guess,
So-
is the,
Yeah, I mean, you know, I would suggest that parents get extra candy for their own kids and have those, you know, put aside so that nobody feels like, oh, I missed out. Fire department's I'm gonna coordinate with them. They're gonna put trucks in different spots in town, so not all congested, so that like kids down in the Winter Street area will have a fire truck down there, and kids Summer Street, one down this area. We obviously we're not opening we shouldn't open the senior center because of congestion. That's what we're trying to avoid, congestion. And the reason why is because we have, you know, I've told you in the past that we're about 1 a week. We had an incident where I think we've dodged a significant cluster, which is good. But you know, we want to make sure that all the work that's gone into the school doesn't go to waste, because they've spent a lot of time and energy to set up the things that I don't know, has anybody been through there? Have you guys been through the school at all?
no.
Yeah, so it's quite a bit different. So they've spent a lot of time and energy, and we just like to make sure that, you know, it stays that way. So that's why we're really concerned about congestion.
Mhm.
Did you ask Tara to put the flu clinic on the sign?
I believe she was asked, yes. So I don't know if it was done or not. I haven't seen it.
I'll remind her, but I thought I saw it today.
I've been in touch.
Yeah, I've put up some flyers around town. It's all short notice, and like I said, I'm not certain that it's the last one we might do.
How about a code red? Can we do that?
Yeah. So I'm not sure how many doses of vaccine she's bringing. So because it's short notice, I just kind of want to get through this, and then if we have to do another one in November, maybe do that. I don't
Okay,
know.
great.
I'll talk to the rest of the board members and the public health nurse, because that's
Okay.
who's coming out to do it.
All right.
But,
Fair
I mean, I did mention that, and then it became, well, what if we have, you know, 500 people show up and we're not ready for it?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you run out, what do you do?
Right, so, I mean, people can still get it at Hannaford as well, and most pharmacies.
Tara says she needs the wording approved for the sign, that's what she's,
I thought we did that.
all right, well, just touch base with her and she'll get it on there, it only
Yeah,
takes her a couple minutes.
One more day.
All right. Yeah, she's there now, I guess, if you,
Yeah.
So
I mean,
inclined.
I think the wording that she had is probably fine.
no. Tell her.
So it's no cost out of pocket for that.
All right,
So we're good on trick or treat?
Can I just ask one question? So that means no trunk or treat, correct?
No, there's gonna be no trunk or treat on the common, but I'm hoping that the PTO will help coordinate those who wanna do a trunk, you know, like some people really like
Yeah.
doing it. But we'll set some up like Winter Street, Summer Street.
Okay.
You know, 2 here, 2 there. You know, you're not gonna get the same crowd that you did in the past, for sure, but that's kind of the point.
I'm just hoping to get a trick-or-treater. I haven't had one in 20 years.
Well, that's the other thing, is
I've
people,
not had a
you know,
trick-or-treater.
there have been a lot of, you know, people do say, geez, we don't get them anymore. 'cause
Yeah.
everybody comes
I
up.
am so happy happy for this year. I hate trunk or treat, or for trick or treat, like the red
It's a nice event. It's
Yeah.
a nice
I
event
mean,
for the
it
town.
But
needs
it-
to be different.
We might be able to do trunk or treat in the future on this type of model, right? So instead of having everybody on the common,
Yeah.
have them, you know,
Cut
and
out.
put out a map like they do with the yard sale
Yard
stuff
sale.
and let people find a specific themed trunk somewhere. I mean, might be a fun alternative in the
I mean,
future.
it's the way it used to be, you never had,
Yeah.
just ran around the neighborhood, but,
Yeah.
it didn't work well if you lived out where Jason lives.
Yeah.
You know, so, anyways, that's the plan. I'm hoping to get some bids back for the flyers done, you've seen that.
Yeah.
Hopefully the bids come back and I can just send that out and get it mailed
Okay.
and be done with it. And then work with PTO and try and what other extra things there are.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
So, unfunded mandates.
Yes, sir. I'll be as quick as possible.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll save some of it.
Are we talking Joey quick or are we talking?
I'll breeze through.
I'm next.
Joe
So,
quick?
oh boy. So unfunded mandates are exactly what they say, what they sound like. It's something that's mandated for us to do, and it's not funded by the people that mandate it to us, like the sewer remodel that we're gonna be forced to do here from the DEP and EPA. So with budget season, well, part of budget season coming up in our town meeting, and I've been questioned by people about doing an override to fix your bridge. Some things that we have to note about our taxes have to do with unfunded mandates. And I found an article, and I meant to look up some more, but I didn't have time, and I'll bring it up next time we're here. But I'm just going to read a couple things from an article I found in the Republican from April 8th, 2016. Now, it's an old article, but things tend to grow exponentially when it has to do with state government and taxes. So the article says, over 5 years ending in December of 2015, the legislature passed 97 new laws with a significant financial impact on cities and towns. Fiscal 2011 to 2015, state aid increased by $467 million to a total of $5.1 billion. But over that same period, state aid slipped as a percentage of municipal budget sources from 21.14% to 20.22%. Since 2003, state aid has dropped from more than 27% of municipal budgets. Local tax base has made up the difference, increasing from 50% of the budget in 2003 to above 57% in 2015. Municipal tax levies from 03 to 15 went up 71+%. Local receipts increased 56+%. State aid only increased just under 13%. Our 200-member legislature voted for 23 acts regarding education, imposing financial impacts on cities and towns in that time. In 2008 or 9, Race to the Top was initiated by the federal government. You know what Race to the Top was?
Mm-hmm.
Had to do with Common Core.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Common Core, whether you like it or not, is something that's forced on, the towns by the state. The federal government can't force you to do education stuff. But when they applied for the Race to the Top money, they had to apply twice. The first time they got denied. The second time they applied and it got approved because that was when they checked off the box, so to speak, that said that we would initiate Common Core. Okay, they didn't do it the first time. Some of the things that we're dealing with now for mandates would be prevailing wage, like we talked about at the school with the floor. We got a bid that included prevailing wage, and it was $20,000 higher than the one that wasn't prevailing wage. All right. The sewer upgrade, the labor charges alone are gonna be 30% higher on the sewer upgrade than they would be if we didn't have to use.
Can you explain what prevailing wage is again? I'm sorry.
So that's where, do you have a better definition?
Well, prevailing wage is, we have to pay what a union would pay. So if we have a local contractor who does flooring that's not in a union, we have to pay him the union rate to do work on municipal construction projects, which increases the cost for us.
Right, which really
30%.
hurts small towns.
30%.
It crushes us.
Because a lot of times we rely on those small businesses to help out the town when they don't mind.
Right.
Right.
$20,000 on that one job.
Wow.
And that wasn't just the tile in the locker rooms, because the contractor that wasn't prevailing wage was going to repair all the VCT out in the main hallway on the lower level that needed to be repaired as well.
Yeah.
And that was all included in that, and it wasn't included in the prevailing wage bid.
Yeah.
Okay, and those are things we gotta look at when we're looking for bids on the fire station. Huge chunk of that's prevailing wage because it has to be.
It's a construction project for a municipality.
Exactly.
So,
all these projects are inflated to cover that, and that's not counting any other potential government mandates that there might be.
So the government imposed small towns to have to pay these outrageous wages.
All towns and cities.
All towns, right,
Yeah.
all towns. But at the same time, around that same time, they got rid of paying time and a half for businesses. The same exact time they got rid of, like, there's no Saturday, you don't have to pay time and a half, there's no holiday pay anymore.
That's a different issue.
I know it's
Yeah.
a different issue, but I just don't understand,
But-
if they're trying to make sure that everyone is equal pay, why are they making it harder for small towns to pay people, and then, like, at the same time, they don't really care that the small people are getting paid any money either.
well, yeah, and that's the legislature, so that's the stuff we have to deal with. The other thing is, the state law specifically exempts municipal employees from the minimum wage law in the state. They didn't include municipal workers in the minimum wage law, so municipal employees are subject to the federal minimum wage, which creates a big controversy when you're talking to the employees, because
That's what, $3 or $6 an hour,
it's,
or did it change?
I don't know what it is. It's more than $6 an hour,
I think it's like $8.
$8 an hour.
Yeah.
But it's still a big gap between state minimum wage and
Yeah.
federal minimum wage. So we've always paid our employees more than the federal minimum wage, but
Right.
their argument traditionally at town meeting is, you're not paying a state minimum wage. So, and we did bring everybody up over state minimum wage, so we have brought everybody up on that. But
So now, one more thing I'd like to add to that, and it's with the Race to the Top funds. And you got to look at this with any kind of grant. Is I'm not sure how much Race to the Top money's left, which is kind of a good question for your local school, because anything that was funded through Race to the Top funds, which I only think they were giving it out for a few years. If you fund anything that's continuing, like if you hired a teacher or started a program, once the money runs out, you have to keep it funded.
you have to keep that teacher funded.
Or a program,
Okay.
golden handcuffs.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're stuck paying for it even after the money runs out. All right, now I think that our superintendent at the time in North Brookfield, I think what she did was, I think that they did like books and computers and stuff that wasn't going to do that, but a lot of towns, they got hit with more fees later once the money ran out, and they had to account for that, which would mean laying off somebody else, right? And somebody mentioned to me when we were talking about this, and I warned this person, we got to be careful with the grants because, it might not be funded later. You got to keep funding these things. And what he said to me was, well, we've got to take the money wherever we can get it. Well, if it locks you into something, for one thing, and two, grants are still taxpayer money. So it's still coming from the tax levy, but it's coming from the state tax levy. Okay? So one way or another, we're funding it, and in some cases, it would be better if we were able to fund it as a town rather than get a grant. So lower the state taxes so the towns can up theirs in order to fulfill some of their obligations, such as roads and bridges, among other things, easier. Because as this article showed 5 years ago, the state's only contributing back then less than 13%, and out of our pockets, out of your pockets, is almost 60%, and that was 5 years ago.
So what does the state pay for? Where does the state money go to mostly?
The state money, well, the state has an open checkbook on the website. I mean, you can go on and look to see where their money goes. I couldn't even begin to tell you where the bulk of the money goes, but.
Well, there's a lot of things that are just crazy too, and I'm not knocking anybody for taking advantage of a system that's made a certain way. But I went to school with a fella who, right out of high school, he went to work for, I think it was a prison in Connecticut. 20 years in, he retired at the age of 38 with a pension. See ya. You know, that's the taxpayer paying that pension. So
And they have a good pension too.
he's not even 40 years old at the time.
What are you saying?
Huh?
Yeah.
You weren't. You're not who I'm talking about.
I just.
But if you think about it, it's just, we're paying for that. You know.
I don't. That's not the way pensions work. I don't think, though. To be honest with you, the money they take out of. So, as a state worker, they took money out of my pay towards my retirement pension. Then you have somebody at the state level that invests that like they would in a 401k. So my money is invested, which makes money, and then as each person gets employed down the line, like when I came on, it was, I don't know what it was like, say 5% of my pay. People now are paying 10 or 11% in, so it's like a legalized Ponzi scheme is what it is.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it is.
That makes sense.
So then they invest that, it makes money.
So
Massive amount of unfunded pension liability out there. I think
In-
state level is at least $8 billion or something.
Not to
Where?
mention.
Not in Massachusetts.
Not to mention legislators.
Massachusetts has a big unfunded pension liability.
I know New York is really bad, but I thought
Well, some states are
Massachusetts
worse. I
was,
mean, California's just horrible, but I mean,
Well, that's why they're.
because I thought Massachusetts was pretty good. I thought that we got awards because the DLS,
I
the
think
DMR.
if it's projected out like over 30 years, it's a big amount.
Oh, yeah, because as people retire, that's why they keep going up on.
Well, because people
withdrawal.
keep living longer, so, you know.
Right.
Well, I know,
You're only
because,
allowed to live to 64.
But I-
Hey, be careful.
yeah,
He's getting pretty close.
I mean, they hate guys like me that retire at 45 because they'll be paying me for a long time, but
Right.
Yeah.
you got people that stay for 40 years, they pay them less time, which works out better for them, but.
I want a pension.
Well, you'll get Social Security, John.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I get what I stuff under
So-
the pillow, not that there's anything there, but.
But then it affects us too, like the bridges, so the highway, the DOT will come in and inspect all our bridges and say, okay, that bridge can't be used, close it. And then they won't
Which they did.
give you any money to fix it, they just say you can't use it. So now everybody's going around,
And I had a person approach me and say that we should vote on at town meeting to spend the money to fix the bridge. Well, that's a lot of money, and we just don't have it. So we are looking for grants. Jason is working very hard trying to find the money for that, and I guess there's a bill in the Senate right now to fund it. Well, it's part of a roads and bridges bill that I guess that one is earmarked to get the money, but the problem with that is if it goes through and it gets approved, it's still gonna be at least 2 years probably before it gets started. So, I mean, we got the Cider Mill Road money 4 years ago for that bridge, and we're starting it next spring. Because we had to wait for conservation and a number of other things, and
Yeah, Murphy wrote
and
that forever.
spawning of
Murphy did, yeah.
some sort of
I hate
fish.
having to drive around town.
So,
But, and that goes to the town can only raise the levy limit on your real estate tax 2.5% every year. But because that, going up 2.5 on real estate only gives us about $160,000 increase in our budget.
mhm.
So that doesn't go very far when the school wants $860,000 increase, so.
And you look at, like, in those few years, the legislature voted on 23 acts regarding education that imposed financial impacts on cities and towns. So what they are, I don't know, we'll have to do the research, but are they all necessary?
Well, I know the sped money, if there's a special ed child that needs, their IEP calls for them to have placement, they can't be in the school for some reason, they have
Sure.
to go to a specialized school. That comes out of the town, if the school hasn't budgeted for it. We ran into that problem, that's why we did the special stabilization fund.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we don't offer a program at the school that a student wants to take, and it's not part of our Bay Path, so some kid wanted to take tractor repair or something like that.
And it's not part of an IEP.
They go to a school somewhere in the Commonwealth, the town now has to pay the tuition and the transportation costs of those students. And that doesn't come out of the school budget, that comes out of the general budget for the town, which will throw you off. When you're working with a $160,000 increase and it costs $100,000 for that one kid to go to this school.
Right, and while it's nice, and I don't blame people for taking advantage of a system that does things for them, but it's not right to impose that on somebody.
Well, in smaller towns that can't handle it. I mean, some of these bigger cities can.
A lot of big cities can't either, though. I mean, Wayland and Wellesley probably can.
Yeah.
But Springfield,
Yeah.
Chicopee.
Yeah,
But when
that's true.
the rest of the town is not getting the education quality that one kid is, because we're like dispersing so much of our money to such a small populations, and that's really hurting all the other students and everyone else in general. It's not like we're some super rich town that has money to throw around all the time.
Yeah. No,
Right, and it's
true.
real important, though, not to blame the individual
No.
for the system.
That's
Well,
true. That's true, but I think the purpose is to make people aware of
Exactly.
the financial constraints that the state puts on us versus the money we
Mhm.
have versus your tax money being used efficiently. It's just problematic all
And
the way
then
around.
in 2 weeks, I'll try to get the numbers from 15 to 20 to see what it's been, since then, and maybe a couple other little odds and ends that we could talk about real quick. But just so people are aware, it's not, if your taxes go up, they go up in every town every year, pretty much.
mhm.
And I think our taxes went down this year, but our property values went up. So you saw an increase in your taxes because your values went up, but our taxes went down. I think.
Convenient.
Yeah, well, it was 2.5% that we levy limited, I think. The assessors came out with something, I'm
So-
not sure.
Anyway,
All right,
that's all I got on that for tonight.
all right. So that finishes our agenda items, right? We don't have anything more on our agenda? What do you
You
got?
looking at me?
Yeah, you're dying to talk. Go ahead.
I just have a couple of things. I want to thank the highway department for doing a great job on the tree removal that they've had to do in the last month and a half. And people complain about potholes. The guys are out. We have 6 guys. 1 guy was out injured. And they've done a great job cleaning up the trees that were on your property and the roads. They still have a long way to go. Be patient with them. It's getting towards winter. They're getting the trucks ready with the plows, the sand and the salt. And they're filling potholes daily. So that's all in the process. Also, the rail trail, we now have just about 4 miles open. You can now go all the way across to the Route 9 side, over to the police station over on Connie Mack Drive. It's a nice walk. Right now, the trees are pretty down there. You've got a wetland down there you can look at. And as you go across Route 9, there's Clay Pond is over there, and it's really nice scenery over there. That's a nice flat area over there. If anybody's walking, my wife and I walk a portion of it every day with the dog, and we're seeing new people all the time. It's for hiking, biking, walking. You can walk your dogs. Just take care of their business if you can. And also, been working on the town park up here. Last weekend, I did not work on the trail, and I told my guys that I'd be taking a couple of days off on the trail, and 4 of them came up and helped me on the park. So I want to thank them. Brandon's been a lot of help, and I had 3 other guys and 1 woman that comes when I call her. She likes to help me out on things. So that's it in a nutshell. We're going to be doing the blocks hopefully within the next 2 weeks. For the walkways, I've got it pretty much leveled out. You'll see a lot of loam over there, dirt, gravel. I moved stuff for 3 days over there with my tractor from over here behind the police station. So we're getting ready to hopefully get the walkways in. I'm going to be needing a little bit of money to buy the pole lights that are going in there, because I can't afford to donate everything. But we have got everything over there has been donated by townspeople, businesses,
Did you get a town flag?
and whatnot. Pardon me?
Did you get a flag?
We get 2 flags.
Okay, I know I posted, someone said they were gonna donate.
I want to thank both people for donating flags. I'm going to change it when I can. The one we have up there is nice, but it's a cloth flag, and it takes a lot of wind to move it, so I'll be giving that back to the person that donated it. But we did get 2 flags, and thank you very much for donating them. Teco Block, I don't know if anybody knows, donated the blocks for the walkways, and it's 15 skids of 12 by 12 blocks, and it's about $8,000 that they've donated. I don't know the exact number, but we're very grateful for that donation. So
What do you
that's
need
it.
for pole lights?
I have them picked out. They're $250 for the pole and the lamp itself.
Will you send me information? I will post on North Brookfield News and ask for some donations.
That's the information.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a picture. It's
Or like, do you have like a way they can send donations?
make a check out to the town of North Brookfield, give it to either Tara or Ashley, and put, what, town park?
In the memo, put town park.
Town park,
Yeah.
and it'll go directly to that. It's a donation fund. All the benches were donated, the loom was brought in, was taken out and then screened by, Freddie Smith. He screened it all for nothing. Bond Sand and Gravel has donated a lot of material, and hopefully they're gonna be giving us the, what do you call it, that goes underneath there?
Oh, the crushed gravel?
Oh,
the stone dust. Yep.
Stone dust will be coming shortly, and my blocks will be coming up there this week, hopefully, from Teco. So, it's on the move,
Great.
so, thank you.
So, we've got 1 month till Veterans Day.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about having a parade on Veterans Day? Since we missed the last 2.
Yeah, I don't care.
Because we still got the laser light show, right? That we could have.
Yeah, it's anytime, we just gotta call them and tell them a date, and
And we've got a marching bagpipe band that is on standby, waiting for our next available
Well, I would say find out what the veterans feel about it.
Yeah.
They're looking into it.
All right. Yeah.
They're already looking into it, so.
So if the veterans want to do it, then I would say okay, but.
So their issue is finding more people that will actually do it.
Mhm.
I feel like they're kind of disheartened because a lot of the younger vets don't march. So if any younger vets out there would like to march and stand with the older guys, let us know, get in contact with them. So we got a month to plan it, so.
Yeah, but it's
What
Veterans
organi-
Day. So.
What organization are you working with to plan it?
You're looking at them.
Oh, I mean, like you said, you had talked to some of the veterans.
Oh, the VFW.
The VFW.
Yeah, and they're talking to the
The Legion.
people at the Legion,
Yeah.
and they're gonna get
I'm
back.
just
to me.
wondering, like, if I post asking younger vets to reach out to someone who I should say they should reach out to.
Either post commander or the Board of Selectmen.
Yep. All right.
I think that'd be a good parade.
Yeah, if we could get people interested. I mean, it's Veterans Day. If you don't have veterans marching, then there's no real
Right.
point in having a
Sure.
Veterans Day parade. But
Yep.
Maybe I
if we
can
do,
get the guy from West Brookfield, Everett Allen.
And it gets dark early enough, so we don't need to have a laser light show at 9 or 10 o'clock. like we have at-
6:15.
yeah, that'd be good.
So,
I do have one question for the board, or, I was looking for clarification on getting articles in the special town meeting. Do you just need to request it through the board, or do you need to get signatures?
100 signatures.
100 signatures, so
Yep.
that is definitely,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then-
Chapter 39, Section 10.
Right,
Yeah.
so like all the articles that you guys don't actually make yourself 100 signatures from residents to add articles.
Yes. Yep. It's 100 signatures or 20% of the registered voters, whichever is fewer. So
Right.
it's 100.
Yeah, we're grown a little, I think, probably since our
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Well,
it
the
was
other articles are from the
3,400.
planning board, the board,
Oh,
you know, and
registered
something
voters,
like
yeah.
Right,
that.
some,
Highway,
some form of board in town.
right,
has
highway is
submitted-
looking, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I was asked to get clarification on,
Okay.
so.
Good. Anything?
Yeah, shredding. Is there any money in the budget to shred that, old town stuff?
Yeah, no, I was thinking of
Or
that the other day
Is
too.
that
That's
something
on
we
mine
can
too.
get on the warrant
We got a,
quickly?
yeah, didn't we get a
I
price?
thought we had that.
We had a price.
No,
but
we
didn't
had
have
a
money,
price.
Right?
And then, COVID hit and it just kind of, wasn't a top priority. I can reach out, I remember the girl's name,
It was like under $500, I think, to do.
I think it was like 8, but,
I think
yeah,
it was
around
like
that.
800?
Wasn't a ton of money.
Can we burn it in a barrel?
no, we need a shred, we
Veterans
need a
Day, we can
certificate
have-
that it's been destroyed.
Oh,
I'll look back in my emails and see
Burning's
what I
better
can come
than
up with.
shredding.
And I think it was more than 800.
Bonfire Veterans Day.
I'll
Yeah,
double
but
check.
if it's not a ton of money. think
Yeah,
we
I
can-
just wondered if, if we need money, can we get that in the warrant, or is there money there that we can
depends
give
what
it
it
up?
costs.
'Cause-
Yeah.
Depends what it costs.
Depends on how much it costs, but we'll bring it up with the finance committee
Kind
and,
of anxious to get that done.
yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, and just buying a crusher and having a party on Saturday while John's over there, we'll stand there watching him shred. Use that as a base.
I'll check and see
All right,
what I
check
have.
into
I know
that.
I got 2 quotes. And one was significantly cheaper than the other, and we had communicated back and forth a few times, and then COVID hit, and it just kind
It's
of.
like $418 rings a bell for some reason. But weren't you going to do it also with the police department? Wasn't there like 2?
Yeah, I got the contact from the police department, and then there was one other company that I checked
Yeah.
out, and I think it was the other company that was cheaper.
Yeah.
I had to send them pictures of everything, and they kind of gave me an estimate based on the pictures. The other guy came out and actually looked at everything and gave me an estimate.
Yeah, because I think the plan was to use finance committee reserve funds because it was an unanticipated expense. And then when that didn't happen, those monies come back to us in free cash. So now it's in the free cash allotment. So get us a price, we'll see if we can get rid of that.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
You've gone up through most of that stuff? You don't need any more of it?
Yeah, the only
Stuff that's-
thing we're saving is in that one room with the bookcase and the books.
Yeah.
Uh,
So everything in the foyer is going,
yeah,
and then everything in the back is being saved.
right, I'm not sure that everything's been pulled out, all the other rooms, I haven't been there in a while, but, there was some, other stuff in some of the other rooms, I don't know if that's all in for you
There's
now.
still
or
some
not.
stuff in the old emergency management room that used to be locked down in the basement.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot, but there's some stuff in there.
In the basement, where the police department used to be, down there?
Yeah, behind where the fruit store was. There was a room that was locked, now it's not, and most everything's out of there.
Oh, the paint's in there, that's where the paint is.
It's near the
It's
paint.
near the paint. The
Okay.
paint's not in that
Yeah,
room.
there's,
Paint's in the
there's
boiler
some,
room.
there's some doors or windows or something that are all lying flat in there too,
Okay.
so.
All right.
Yeah, I was in there with Keith Marshall the other day, the fireman wanted to
Oh, yeah.
take a look around, so.
Was the boiler running? Was it warm in that room?
I
Down
think it
there,
was.
did you notice?
Yeah.
Cause we gotta get the paint back, all the paint back in there before it freezes.
Yeah,
Cause I know there's a few cans out.
yeah, I did see.
I'm really
outside the-
surprised
I
you
did
haven't done
something.
that yet.
I'm working on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm working on a restaurant now.
Oh, nice. Well, before we get into that, I move to adjourn.
Well, is there anybody else that has anything to say? I mean,
I did have one more announcement I forgot to make for the VFW, for the American Legion Post 41. They're gonna have Friday night raffles, for 10 weeks, starting 11/06/20 through January 6/21. Prizes will be drawn weekly, one $50 share and three $25 shares, for a $20 donation per ticket in support of the Children's Fund. The tickets are available at, the American Legion Post.
okay.
And for me,
Nice.
and through me too,
Yeah.
as well.
Hey, do you wanna do a walk on the trail with like a bunch of people, or you wanna, is that too much to get going?
No, I mean, we can set a date for it, and anybody that's interested can join us for a walk, if you have a date
Yeah.
in mind.
Would you guys wanna go?
Depends on the date.
Sunday afternoon or something?
As long as there's not a foot of snow like the last
Yeah.
time you wanted me to walk down that thing.
16 inches we walked. We did 3
Um,
miles down and back. Well,
yeah.
a lot of us went all the way down. Some of us didn't make it the whole way.
Yeah, I don't know, do you wanna,
Pick a day, I'll go
this weekend, next weekend,
next weekend. Cause
Next
this
week.
weekend I'm laying blocks.
24th or 25th, Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday probably.
Sunday? Sunday the 25th,
Yeah, 1
10
o'clock,
a.m.?
1-ish.
1 o'clock?
I don't know,
Afternoon?
what's better? People do church in the morning.
Oh, that's true. All right,
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right. Sunday the 25th, 1 o'clock, we'll put it out. We'll do a walk, and you can join the selectmen on the rail trail, and talk more. All
I
right?
have a
There you
couple
go.
more things for you to sign, but it doesn't need to be in the, you can adjourn.
Okay.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everybody. Thank
night.
you.
These are just some